Hello. So today I'm going to show you guys how to create something that I think is really cool. They are custom swatches, and I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what swatches are, where to find them, how they work, and all of that. First, you're going to have to open up a new file. I know my Illustrator might look a little bit different than yours because I have the 2018 version, but essentially it's the same. So for you, you could just go up to File, New, and then this will look a bit different on yours, but the settings are still the same. I want you to have 8.5 by 11, which is your standard sheet of paper. Make sure it's in inches, and then have your artboard orientation this long ways. That's called landscape, so keep it like this. So we want 11 inches width, 8.5 by height, and then your orientation is landscape, and then click OK. So it will open up a nice bright white workflow area. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So your background is probably white. If it's not white and it's gray, that's fine. It's going to all work the same. Just remember that your artboard is the actual area that shows up when you save your files, not the area around it. So what we're going to do today is we're going to explore swatches and what swatches are and how they work. So swatches, this is this little icon right here. So this little icon is your swatches. And so basically, this little guy, that is your swatches. So we're going to open up our swatch library. Now, if your swatches are not on your panels on the right hand side, if you come up to Window right here and click on that, you will be able to go down to swatches and open up your swatches. So once your swatches is open, what swatches are they are colors that you can use. Now there are literally thousands of swatches in Illustrator. How you find your swatches is in your little menu drop down. You can go to Open Swatch Library, and all of these are swatches that you can use. Now a lot of times in designing we use Pantone colors. So we use a lot of these Pantone CMYK coded. And there's literally thousands of these, like every single color you could think of. So there are literally thousands of swatches. There's even like textiles, which are some pretty neat colors. So you have all of these really cool swatches. Well, what I'm going to show you guys is how to actually make some of your own custom swatches. So if you've noticed, there are swatches like this pattern here and this pattern, and they're pretty cool. The patterns are a lot of fun, and I'm going to show you guys how to make your own pattern. So what we're going to do is we're going to clear our swatches. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go delete swatches. Click yes. And it should delete your swatches. Okay. Guess that did not work. Go to select all unused. It'll select everything because my artboard is blank. Then go delete swatches. Click yes. Okay. So basically it leaves you with just like black and white, which is fine. So what we want to do is we're going to create our own swatch. How we do that is we're going to use the rectangle tool. So over here on the left hand tool panel, grab your rectangle tool. If it doesn't show up, make sure you click on there and bring up the rectangle. Now what's cool about Illustrator is when you are creating a shape, if you want a very specific size, all you have to do is double click. So I double click and then this little box shows up, and I'm going to put in, I want a 2 inch by 2 inch box. So see, 2 inch by 2 inch. So now I have a perfect 2 inch by 2 inch square, and I'm going to move that up here. This is going to be my work area. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit on my work area. So what I'm going to create is I'm going to create a pattern for my swatch. And what these patterns can be used for is a variety of things. They can be used in backgrounds. They can be used when you're designing something and you want to fill something with a really cool pattern. When you are designing something, for instance, a lot of printed material for like kids. So curtains with like all the characters on it that they love, or sheets with like that have a pattern on them, clothes, pajamas, flannels, all that stuff that has patterns. You create those patterns through swatches. So I'm going to show you how to create one. And the one I'm going to show you how to create, since we're getting close to our winter break, is I'm going to go with a Christmas wrapping paper theme and basically create my own pattern for my own wrapping paper. So how you start that is you have your 2" by 2" box, and this is going to be our guide. Everything we need to do in this box has to be created within this box, and anything that goes outside of the box has to be duplicated on the other side. So I'm going to show you how that works. So since this is a Christmas theme, I'm going to start out actually by drawing a Christmas tree. So I'm going to use the pen tool. I'm going to hold down Shift so I can get some nice angles. And it's not perfect, but that is okay. I am not looking for it to be. So I did half a Christmas tree. Then I'm going to come in here. If you do Control R, it brings up your rulers, which allows you to grab your guides, which is a really nice help. So I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to take my direct selection tool, and this is where I'm going, using the arrow key to kind of move some of these branches around a bit, place them a little bit. See, there we go. All right, I'm going to grab this guy, put it right on the line. Okay, so just adjusting a few things to where I like them. Alright, that looks better. So now I have half of a Christmas tree. I'm going to select it, hold down Alt. You'll notice it goes from 1 arrow to 2 arrows. I'm going to make a copy. I'm going to right click and go to Arrange, Transform, and reflect it vertically. And so now I have 2 beautiful Christmas trees. I'm going to select both halves. And I'm just going to align them. And then I'm going to move this one over to where it's on. Okay. This white box is kind of getting in the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it and I'm going to change it to no fill. That way I'll quit accidentally selecting it. Alright, we want this tree right on the line. So see how they're both on the line identical. Then I'm going to select both sides. I'm going to go to my Pathfinder tools, which are somewhere. Oh, not open. So I'm going to open up my Pathfinder tools by going to Windows, Pathfinder. There we go. Alright, and you guys should be very familiar with Pathfinder tools by now. So I'm actually going to unite the 2 sides of the tree. So now it's one solid tree, which is kind of cool. I'm going to step back a little bit here. So, okay, I have 2 halves. So what I like to do is I always like to make copies. So I'm actually going to grab both of these. I'm going to make a copy over here. So I have halves of my trees. Then I'm going to select these guys and unite them so I have a whole tree. Alright, so I'm going to put, let's say, I'm going to put a tree here. And what's cool is we're going to stretch out and change some of the shapes of the trees. So I'm going to make this tree nice and big. And let's fill it with a pretty green. Click OK. If you double click on your swatches over here, if you double click on that, it opens up the colors for you to pick. And then I'm going to change it to no fill. So now I have a green tree there. I'm going to make a copy of this. I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to put it maybe here. Make another copy. Make it like a medium size. Put it here. So then what I'm going to do with these halves, because they're halves of trees, I'm going to make a copy. I am going to put half of a Christmas tree right here, because I want my pattern to overlap. I don't want it to be in a perfect box. So I'm going to make sure, this is where it gets technical, I'm going to make sure it's right on the line. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to make sure it's right on the line. Then I'm going to use my guides. Put a guide right at the top. And right at the bottom. That way I know where they're at. I want to take this half of the tree. It has to be on the inside in the same spot. So it needs to be, oops, on the top and on the bottom. They have to match. They have to line up perfectly. Cool. Then you want them the same color. So I'm going to select both of them. Actually, I'll show you guys a cheater way. So you select both of your parts. You come over here to this eyedropper tool and you sample. So then it will actually make my tree here have the same outline and same fill as this tree here. So makes things a little quicker. So I'm going to move this tree over here just because now it's a little closer. And fill up that little guy. Let's move this here. Alright, I got some cool little tree pattern here. Can get rid of these guides because I don't need them anymore. Alright, so I've got that going on. But this isn't Christmassy enough, so I'm going to create some more patterns. I'm going to create a box. However, I'm going to make it red. Oh, not blood red. There we go. Bright red. Alright, right across there. Then I'm going to let's make some little diamonds that go in that. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So holding down the shift key, I'm going to make a perfect little diamond. I'm going to make this diamond white. And then I'm actually going to put a guide right in the middle. Oops, my guide's a little off. Trying to put my guide right in the center. There we go. So I'm going to put my guide in the center. I'm going to make a bunch of copies of this guy. Doesn't matter where they're at. Then I'm going to select all the copies. Make sure I don't select the box and I don't select this tree. I just want these copies. I'm going to line using the align tools up here. I'm going to vertically align. And then I'm going to horizontally distribute by center. And so they're all beautifully placed. All right, let's select them all. All right, we need a couple more. So, holding down the Alt key again. Select them all. Vertically align, horizontally distribute. Now, okay. So, what we want to do with this guy, we can delete this extra one on the end. We don't need it. I'm going to select all of these because I need them all to move at the same. Do it this way. All right. I need all these little guys to move at the same time so I know it's in the right spot. Which it looks pretty good. So what I'm trying to get is I'm trying to get it right on that path, right in the center. Okay. So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to select on my outline, my box. Let's get rid of this guide. Okay. I'm going to select on my box. I'm going to select on this white diamond. And I am going to divide. Alright, that created a funny thing, so I'm going to turn off my outline. So I'm going to select my outline again. Now that it's invisible, not black, select the diamond and divide. Then I'm going to ungroup. So now it literally cuts the diamond in half, so I can delete that side. So if it helps, you can turn the color back onto your outline. Okay. But we will have that off eventually. So I have this cute little band going across. Let's see, what else is Christmassy? Let's put some stars and maybe some snowflakes in here. So I'm going to go to my shapes, going to go to not the flare tool. That is not Christmas. Okay. Star tool. I'm going to create, let's go with more, a little bit longer. Let's kind of make them look a little bit more like snowflakes. There we go. Alright, let's see, what color should we put these guys? Let's do some blue ones. So I'm just going to, make a few copies. And then what I do is I come in, once I have some copies, I'll make some smaller. That way they're different sizes. Make some a little bigger. And then also I'm going to change the color on a few of these. Let's go with a nice yellow on one. Let's go with a red. Let's make this one the same as this one. And we'll make this little guy the same yellow. Okay, so how I made them change the colors, I use the eyedropper tool over here. It takes samples of whatever color. So now I have some stars in here. We could even do, let's make a little snowman. So 1, 2, 3. So let's make these a little bit smaller. That's the middle one. And then the head a little bit smaller. Select all 3 of them. Do vertically or horizontally aligned, sorry. Let's move the head down a click. Alright, cool. Move it down 1 more click. There we go. I'm going to fill this with white. Boom. And then I'm going to unite them. Then I'm going to, with the black, or with the ellipse tool, I'm going to create a black circle. Holding down Alt, I'm going to make a copy. Oops. It's really tiny. I have to zoom in a little bit. All right, hold down Alt. There we go. No. All right, it's a little too small, so I'm just going to copy it and paste it. Oh my gosh, why is this being so nice? Okay, there we go. I'm going to use the Align tool, align them up, bring them here. Now, obviously, they're a little big for this snowman, so I'm going to hold down Shift, shrink them up a little bit. I'm going to use the arrow keys to align them. Then let's use, I'm just going to use the pen tool. To create a little line, I'm going to change the fill to nothing and the stroke to a black outline. That's way too thick, so I'm going to come up here and I'm going to change it to 0.25. So he's got a little happy snowman smile. I'm going to select all of this using the align tool. Ah! Now he's a Cyclops. Okay. How you prevent stuff like that is you select the eyes, Control G to group them. Now that they're grouped, they won't squish together. There we go. Alright, we got a little happy snowman. I'm going to group him. Shrink him down a little bit. Yeah, I really don't like his smile. Or the eyes. So I'm just going to delete him. Simple snowman looks better. So I'm going to make a copy of our simple snowman. Let me throw away this ugly one. I'm going to hold down Shift, enlarge it a little bit, and I'm going to put it right on the edge there. Then I'm going to use my guides. Mark the top. Zoom in so I can see. Mark the top. And then I'm going to mark the bottom. I'm going to select the snowman and the outline of the box, and I'm going to divide. And I'm going to right click and ungroup so that way I can grab this half of the snowman. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Move this half of the snowman right over here so it all lines up. I'm going to start over a little bit. Okay. So I think I'm basically ready. Actually, you know what? Let's move this guy here. Make him a little bit bigger. Okay. I'm going to grab the guide. Alright, I'm going to select the snowman, select the box on the outside. I'm going to divide it. I'm going to click it and ungroup it. Grab the bottom. The bottom is going to come right up here. So if you'll notice, whenever I cut something in half, I put the other half on the other side in the exact same spot. So they always line up. That's key. They always have to line up. So now I'm going to select my box. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to change the fill to white. And I'm going to change the outline to nothing. Now if you'll notice, it's kind of blacked or whited everything out. Select your box, right click, and go to Arrange and send it back. So if you notice, oops, I guess we can't have a white background with a white snowman. That doesn't work. Ooh, black background. That looks cool. Okay, so I have this really cool pattern here. So then once you have everything done, you have to test it. So how we test it and make sure it actually turns a swatch. Click and drag and grab your whole swatch. So everything here. It should be a perfect square. You shouldn't have anything going outside. If you have anything going outside, it's not going to work. So you should have everything in this box. Then you're going to click and drag it into your swatches panel and let go. And if you'll notice, it created a little swatch right there. New pattern swatch 1. So we're going to test it. Hopefully it works. They usually do not work the first time. So do not be discouraged. So what I'm doing is I grab the rectangle tool and I created a rectangle, the whole size of my paper. You want it to fill the whole size of your paper because you can't tell if your swatch works if you only have a little spot. You need to have a big area to look at. So I have this big square, rectangle technically. Then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click on my swatch and it's going to fill it with a swatch. So now we have to check it for errors. So we're going to zoom in. I can already see a mistake right here. This one that got cut off, you'll notice it's cut off and it doesn't repeat. So that's my mistake. Now, told you they don't always come out right the first time. So we have to fix our triangles. Okay, now you remember me saying that whatever I do on one side, I have to do on the other side. So I cut this triangle off here, but I didn't put that triangle, the other half, anywhere. So there's a couple ways I can fix this. I can literally come in and delete the triangle. I could take my diamonds and I can kind of, oops. Okay. Delete it. Select all my diamonds. Let's try moving it over and see what happens. So every time you make a change, you have to select everything, drag it back into the swatches. So now you'll see I'll have two. It can get a little confusing. Then you click on your box down here and select your new swatch. Now if you notice there's now a weird gap. We don't like that weird gap. So what we need to do, select our diamonds again. Okay. I'm going to move them back. I'm going to make a copy. Select all my diamonds again. Evenly distribute them. See, if I do it like this, I'll show you what happens. So you think, okay, they're all on there. It shouldn't be a problem. I'll take my swatches, put it over here. But then when you come down to test it, I select here, select my new swatch. See what happens? They're all touching. And because this little part of the diamond sticks over, I now have a white space in between. So not good. So this is all about patience and fine tuning. Oh, this is like so slow. Okay. So we know that is not going to work. So I am simply going to move this guy back over. I'm going to move this right to where the point of the diamond is on the edge. Okay? Then I'm going to quickly switch it back over to an outline. So that way the inside of my box is just gray and the outside, the outline is black. That way I can see a little easier. I'm going to select the box. I'm going to select the diamond. I'm going to divide. I'm going to right click and ungroup. And then, oops. Divide. Right click, ungroup. Okay, I think it's because the box is behind. So I'm going to select on the box and the black outline. I'm going to go to arrange. I'm going to bring it to the front. Oh, I know why. It's because I did this before. And created this weird outline. Okay, no big deal. We can do this different ways too. So sometimes you do come up with these errors and it's pretty easy. I'm going to make a copy of this diamond. I'm going to zoom out a little. There's always multiple ways to do things. I'm going to take this diamond over here. There we go, zoom in. Obviously, this is still not going to work perfectly because we just don't have enough space. So I'm actually going to delete this guy. I need to make the spaces in between a little bit bigger. So I'm just using the arrow keys on my keyboard to move it over 3 clicks. 1, 2, 3. Unselecting 1, 2, 3. Holding down shift, clicking to unselect 1, 2, 3. Selecting 1, 2, 3. Selecting 1, 2, 3. Selecting. So I'm just going to delete these guys. Sometimes you just have to play around with your design a little bit. Select it. It's all still in that square. Add it to my swatches. You'll notice I have 4 up here now. I'm actually going to select these 3 that I don't use anymore because they're trash and they didn't work. I'm going to select on my box, click my new one, and bam, there we have it. So check it for errors. I don't see any white lines. I don't see any weird spacing with my diamonds. My trees look all nice. There's a beautiful pattern that just repeats and repeats and repeats. So technically, I could take this and print this and have a beautiful homemade Christmas paper that I made myself. I can add my own custom names in there. You can literally make anything you want with this. So it works for wrapping paper. It works for patterns for clothing, patterns for curtains, any kind of fabric, things like that. You can even use this to create a pattern in the background. What's really cool, because I have it as a swatch, I can actually save this swatch by going to Save Swatches as AI. And I'm going to name this Christmas 2017. So now that's actually saved into the library, so my swatch doesn't go anywhere. So you can save them, which is really nice, because you don't want to spend all this work and then it go away. You can also save this file, and this file, which when you go to save as, I'm going to save it as Christmas Swatch 2017. Click save. And then I actually can save this file as an Illustrator file that I can come back to later on. So another really cool thing is you can create anything with this. So let's say I have Merry Christmas. I'm going to right click and create outlines. Hold down shift, make this really big. Click on this and click on my pattern, and it fills it with the pattern. You can do text, you can do different shapes, whatever you want. So anything you draw, even whatever you draw with the pen tool, you can fill it with your pattern. So hopefully you guys use this and think it's pretty cool, because you will be creating your own custom pattern and swatch. And it does not have to be Christmas themed. It can be anything you guys want as long as it's appropriate, but you're going to be creating your own. If you have any questions, let me know.